Hey everybody, welcome back to episode 67 on this Tuesday night. We got a lot of snow from the last time that we talked.
Storm watch.
And it's funny, like, not that I don't pay attention to the weather, but since I'm not going anywhere, like, I'm not walking to the train, I'm not standing on a platform waiting for a train, not walking downtown to my office. It's like I just completely, not that I don't care, but it's like not that something that I think about all the time. And then when they say winter storm watch, you're like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen? It kind of started out slow, yesterday afternoon, and then it kind of like most of it was overnight. But then it basically snowed all day, right?
Yes, it did on and off. Although the internet is lying because I looked it up. Well, it's our NBC affiliate. They're no good. It says 5 inches of snow in Oak Park, which is.
But I bet you if we took out a ruler into our front lawn, it would be more than that.
Palatine got 7.3 inches, supposedly.
Oh.
Now, I wonder, let me scroll up here. Does it say what time this was updated? Oh, 23 minutes ago. So, I mean, I still don't believe it. I think it was more than that. I mean, it really wasn't that bad, but we got a lot overnight. And, you know, to be honest, I was thinking it was probably about 5 inches. But it drifts a lot. You know, so we had about 5 inches, and here's the thing that they never really talk about is that it's really not how deep the snow is; it's how dense it is.
Yeah.
This was wet, heavy snow, so it was.
So it's not like the fluffy stuff that you're just kind of like,
right.
you know.
I mean, even though it was
it's
only
like legit, you gotta like put some work into it.
Yeah, even though it was only 5 inches, and that keeps happening. I mean, we haven't had that much snow this year, but that keeps happening. And when it does snow, it always starts out as like rain or freezing rain. It's very wet. There's ice underneath, or like slush and ice underneath. So it was a mess. I'm still going to complain about it, even if it was only 5 inches of snow.
And I appreciate you for shoveling it. Thank you.
I did shovel. I got up early. I was the first one out there today.
Nice.
Although I don't know that there's an apartment building or like a commercial building that has apartments at the south end of our block, and I don't know whether they did it overnight or they were just insanely early because I was out there before 6. But they had done it, although it had clearly snowed since they finished.
Was it super cold also?
No, it really was. It was like 30 degrees out, and I would rather have it be a little bit below freezing. Because I don't like it when it's all wet and,
yeah.
You know. But it was still kind of coming down. And so my jacket, I didn't really even notice it. But my jacket was soaking wet. And then I did a complete waste of time. I did the front and then I did kind of like the side and the back. But for reasons that really make no sense, I decided to shovel off the apron of our garage. I mean, there was a lot of snow in the alley. But we're not going anywhere. So
yeah, we're not going.
It really didn't
anytime.
I thought about it. I thought like, why don't we just wait a few days and see what happens?
Right.
But I don't know.
But what if there's an emergency?
Well, that's right. Then. There could always be an emergency.
I don't even know if the I saw that the salt truck was going up and down just a few minutes ago, but I don't think they do alleys. I think they just do the streets. So you're kind of like on your own.
They don't do alleys, but we're sort of fortunate in that they're on the other side of the alley from us. It's all commercial buildings and apartments on that side of the alley, and they have lots that you enter and exit from, and from the alley. You pull in from the alley, you go out into the alley. So they plow the lots, but then as a practical matter, it kind of benefits us because unless they push the snow in front of our garage, which they don't do. Fortunately, or they haven't so far.
Just remembering when the kids were little, we had a car, the Mazda. Do you remember? And
yeah.
It was kind of low, and I remember pulling into our babysitter's alley, and getting stuck in the alley where it's just like the wheels are just like turning and everything.
We had that one snowfall where it was we had like over 2 feet, like 26 inches of snow, and we were living not in this house, but actually not too far away. And one of our neighbors worked for. He was a building engineer. He didn't work in the factory part of it, but there's a candy company that has a factory not far from us, and he worked there, and he was able to, and he had to work like the next day after this huge snowfall. All the schools were closed. But on his lunch hour, he came back with a pickup truck that had a snowplow. It had a blade in front, and he plowed our alley for us.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, it was great because we would have been, and we didn't have driveways, so the only way out of the out by car was
through the garage.
Out of the garage into the alley. So I mean, we would have been stuck for a long time.
Days. Yeah.
Because it took forever for that to really dissipate. But yeah, he came back on his lunch hour and came down the alley.
That year when it snowed so much that when you opened up our back door, there were steps to go down, and the snow came all the way up to the steps. So it's like you basically open the door and then stepped into it. Yeah, because it all
drifted by the steps.
And like our fence was just like a chain link fence, but it was just higher than the fence.
Here's the dark side of the COVID pandemic, if there haven't been enough dark sides of the COVID pandemic. So we don't have kids in elementary or high school, but a friend of mine who lives in a nearby suburb, not that nearby, Elgin, actually it's kind of far from where we are, but he lives in Elgin, has a daughter who's in high school, and their public schools announced that they're not going to have snow days. At least they're in that situation where they go a couple of days a week, right? So they announced yesterday that they would not have a snow day today, regardless of how much snow they got, because the kids could, study remotely.
Yeah.
So I think what we're witnessing is the death of snow days.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like when your company cuts something out of the budget and it's never coming back. Well, we had to cut back on this, that, or the other thing because of, the recession or the pandemic or whatever. That's never coming back.
That ship has sailed.
That ship sailed. So I think that's what's going to happen with snow days is now they're going to say, oh, well, we've got all this technology and we've done this before. We're ready for it. So kids, you can just study from home when there's 8 feet of snow.
No, nothing to worry about.
And the problem with that is that, if it's not excessive snow, the parents have to, well, it's two things. One is, of course, the kids are going to hate never having snow days. But the other thing is that I think it's not only that there won't be snow days, but they're going to do this study from home thing more often than they would normally have a snow day. In other words, if there's a few inches of snow and traffic is a mess, they're going to say, well, let's not have everyone drive in these bad conditions to get to school. Stay home. Yeah, everybody just stay home. It's 5 inches of snow. Normally we'd be open, but now we can do it remotely. Then the problem with that, of course, is that, the parents still have to go to work. I'm envisioning a scenario after the pandemic is over. Everything's back to normal. Most people are back working in their normal jobs. Now the schools say, well, it's not so bad that we would normally have to shut down, but there's a lot of delays. So it'll take everybody an extra half hour. So everybody just stay home, but the parents aren't going to have that option necessarily.
Yeah. So it's always a sad thing because that's the best time when you have a snow day and they're like, yeah, get your snow pants on.
Well, being a remote, I've always been remote at this job, so I would never have had advantage of it.
Yeah.
Well, the last time the kids had a legit snow day, sometimes they would close down if it was cold enough because they didn't want kids walking in the bitter cold.
I don't even know when that was. 10 years? I don't even know how long ago.
No, they've done that in recent years.
When the wind chill was like 50 below.
Right. They have parameters. If the wind chill if the air temperature is below a certain level, or the wind chill is below a certain, whatever it is, they have certain parameters, and the idea there is the kids could get to school, but so many kids in our district have to walk.
Yeah, there's no bus service, so for a lot of people.
Well, there's bus for elementary, but you have to be signed up for it. So if you normally would walk, you can't just say, oh, well, today I want to take the school bus.
Right.
And there is no school bus service for the high school, and that draws from a larger geographical area. So they did do it in a few instances of extreme cold. And I was not, they'd never done that before. And I thought that was kind of a good move on their part.
Definitely.
But now, again, none of that's going to happen. It's all going to be,
and it's funny
open up your laptop.
Now that our kids are out of high school, that I don't pay attention to what our local schools are doing, like the elementary or middle school or high school. So I'm glad I don't have to worry about that anymore.
So the funny thing is, we always complain about the way they cover storms or potential storms on the news, because you would think that we don't get snow in Chicago, though they react to
So much.
even the slightest dusting. They have these overtly dramatic things, and then you get like most forecasters exaggerate. I think because they don't want to get blamed for for underestimating how it's going to be. So any threat of snow, keep an eye out. We'll report school closings. So they're all hyper about that, and I don't like it because it gives me anxiety. It's like, look, if it's just going to be some minor amount of snow, then let's just all calm down.
Yeah, unless it's a blizzard or something that's going to be that, then it's okay. We live in Chicago. We know it's going to snow a few inches.
Although there was one guy who's since retired, and he'd been a meteorologist here for a long, long time. I think it was Jerry Taft.
Oh, yes.
He was very well liked, and he was just on forever and ever and ever. Also, apparently a very good golfer, but whatever. But I think he was so tired of the everybody's hair being on fire all the time and the sky always falling and all that he kind of went to the opposite extreme. He was always like, it's no big deal.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
And most of the time he was right, but sometimes he was wrong. That's no big deal, and you wake up in the morning and there's 8 feet of snow.
Right. Curses.
Yeah.
In other news, on our kitten update, so we've had them for 3 weeks now.
I think it'll be 3 weeks.
On Saturday.
So,
we told you that they're awesome, super affectionate, super nice and everything. Waffle has been a little bit skittish, a lot skittish.
Yeah, I thought she didn't like me for a while.
Just like she hangs out with us and stuff like that, and she'll be in the same room with us, but if you walk up to her, she'll run. Or just, she does not like to be picked up. I've picked her up many times, and it's just like as soon as you pick her up, she tries to fall down. However, she's turned a corner, and in the last few days has been the most affectionate kitten. I've pet her more yesterday and today than I have since we've gotten her.
It's actually mostly in like the last 24 hours. Mm-hmm. It was like a switch went off or something. I got changed yesterday, and I was coming back downstairs. You don't need to know the details of getting changed, but I was coming back downstairs, and both the cats were in our daughter's room. Our daughter was away at school, so she's not there, and I just thought, well, I'm going to try one more time to pet Waffle, the other one, who's not as outgoing. And she just like lay down and rolled over, and I was rubbing her belly for like 15 minutes, and then I wasn't going to leave. I'm like, well, this may be it.
Yeah, so I'm not leaving this at all.
Right.
And today she like jumped up at my desk when I had a meeting this morning, walked across my computer, was at my feet, chewing on the my shoelaces on my shoe, on my boot, and just like so crazy, just so affectionate. So we're super happy that she's like turned a corner, and she's with our other kids, they can pick her up and stuff like that. But
not
still,
as
not
much as with Gordy, the more outgoing one. But
Gordon,
they have been.
Gordon will let you pick her up all day. And the best
unless
thing
she's really riled up, which is not uncommon.
And fortunately, we have a lot of sweatshirts that have the tassel tie,
that's like
which is perfect.
Hoodies or whatever.
Yeah, as soon as you pick her up, then she sees that, and then she's just like playing with it, and then she's like your best friend, and she's like a little baby.
When I got up to shovel snow, Waffle came over and just sat right next to me while I was putting my boots on, and then she did kind of like go after the laces. I don't know why they're so fascinated with laces.
I know.
But it wasn't just that. Like, she was totally normal. I pat her, and then I've done that several times, which is good because she got some kind of scratch on her chin, kind of underneath. We couldn't get a good look at it because she would bolt if you tried to pet her. I tried to pick her up. That she freaked out. But now, when you pet her, she rolls over on her back half the time, and you can get her, and it's fine.
And she's purring so loud. It's just like the loudest purr, so it's really exciting. So we're happy that she is, they're both doing amazing. I mean, we were talking about it. We've had several sets of cats over the years, being together for so long, and we've not picked any bad ones. I mean, there's just been
No.
amazing. So super lucky in the cat department.
But I do think, you know, we've gotten now 4 from the same shelter, and I think a lot of it does have to do with them.
Definitely.
I do think they are pretty good at
We'll have to
getting
send them
used to
updated pictures.
Yeah.
They don't mind if you send, because they have attachments to these cats. Because like the ones that we got, a woman there drove to Texas to bring them back.
Yeah,
They
right.
did a swap, exchanging dogs for cats, and I mean that's a big trip.
Did we
with
talk?
these-
Did we talk about that? How that came about?
I think we did,
'Cause,
but we
yeah,
can just give a recap in case
They
you
had
forgot.
a dog. The shelter here had a dog that you know, they could. I think they tried to foster it and so forth, but it wasn't. That dog wasn't really going to work out in a family setting.
Yeah.
So there's a sanctuary in Texas where the dogs are, you know, just kind of can be a little
They have more
free.
land.
Yeah, so they sent the dog to this sanctuary where, as they told us, he can live out his years chasing wild boars, which seems like a thing a dog would like to
I
do.
think so too.
And they take care of him. They feed him and they give him shelter and everything like that, and keep up with like veterinary care. But the dogs, you know, they have to worry about whether the dog's maybe not super friendly or whatever.
Right.
So it works out for everybody. But in exchange for this sanctuary, which is, you know, affiliated with the shelter, in exchange for taking the dog, our shelter took back some cats, including our 2 kids, who are not going to join us tonight. Apparently, they're just going to sleep.
I think they're still in Claire's room.
Yeah.
And the best part is Claire set up underneath her bed. There's a big giant pillow underneath there, and then there's like a little like one of her paintings, a canvas, which is like upside down, which I put another soft blanket on. So I didn't even know. I had meetings this afternoon. I had the door shut, so like they couldn't come in. They were actually there the whole time. Yeah. And afterwards, I was like, I wonder if they're actually in here. And then I looked underneath, and like, sure enough, they're sound asleep in there. So we're super happy and excited that they are doing so great, and we're super happy to have them in our family.
Yeah. They did not help with the snow. They watch. They sit in the
definitely
window
love to
and
watch
They
and
like
look what
the
was
snow.
going on. Definitely.
Yeah, but they didn't shovel.
Yeah. So that's all that's going on for us. And on Thursday, we're going to talk about something that's happening on Saturday, which is our tattoos. So that's going to be exciting. I have some thoughts on what we're going to talk about on Thursday. So that's all for tonight.
I'll just show up and find out.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you. So that's all there is for tonight. And I hope you guys have a good rest of the week, and we'll talk to you in a couple days. Bye.
Bye.